Today, you guys, I have the honor of introducing someone that is very special to me. She's my personal diary, my confidant, someone that I have noticed that has learned how to come down to a level that is so calm and she's more open to understanding people and their perspective of things. But don't get me wrong, she's still a lightning torch. So don't try her because God ain't through with her yet. I introduced Rashonda. Hey, girl.
Hey girl,
Hey, what do you prefer to go by, Rashonda or Bree?
Bree.
Okay, Bree. I'm not gonna call you Rashonda. I'm gonna call you Bree. So, Bree, I see you are in caregiving. Do you
She
like
said
it?
no. Yeah.
That's great to hear. Now, do you understand why the things that happened to you as you were a child? Do you have clarity on that now, or did that come later on in life as you turned into an adult?
It came later on after talking about it with the therapist. Some people think that if you go to therapy, that means crazy or that means you can't handle some stuff. Like I feel like that therapy can make you a better person. And that before you can help someone else, you have to learn how to help yourself. You have to learn how to love yourself,
True.
and you have to learn how to be that person that you have felt like that you have been trying to run away from. The person that's always in you, but it just I guess different circumstances make like different outcomes.
That's very true. That's very true. So, with that therapy, does that replace your confusion and hurt with more empathy now?
No, but what I learned by going to therapy is that if you don't forgive someone, then you know, you let them like create a hold on your life. And if you don't forgive anybody, my therapist never told me I had to forget, but she said that I have to forgive. And even when she said that, it was just some stuff that I still wasn't okay with forgiving. But then again, it was just like, am I gonna let this, you know, hang over me? Am I gonna let this, be the reason why I stop what's for me? If that makes sense. Like blocked all my blessings and stuff like that. I constantly holding on. So grudges, people hold on to grudges all the time. It's up to you if you want to be that person. Say I'm no longer letting this person have control over my life, and that's how I have to look at it. Like I just don't let other people control me. I realize that I am, I'm destined for greatness if I apply myself. So therefore, if I don't apply myself, then it's like only way I can fail is if I fail me. But I can't say, oh, I failed because somebody did this to me or somebody did that to me or this happened to me or that happened to me. All of that is just excuses of why not to do it. So that's why I don't look at myself as a victim anymore. I look at myself as a survivor of anything, and that's why I believe
Yes.
in telling my kids that like you can overcome anything or any obstacle that come in your way, but you have to want to do it.
So, my question to that, since we're on the topic of forgiveness, I want to know if you forgive somebody, but you're constantly talking about it, does that mean you really didn't forgive them or you just talking about it to process?
Yeah and no. I feel like that sometimes you have stuff on your mind, and as a person that has come from a certain type of background, sometimes um, we have all of these questions. But what I realize is sometimes is that you'll have questions, but you won't have an answer to that question. So do you drive yourself crazy, by
Hmm.
just constantly overthinking it or wondering if this happened or if I change this, that would be something that I want to do. But I mean, I really just think it's all about the person that you're trying to become, not the person that you was, but somebody you're trying to become.
'Cause I believe I have a hard time with that sometimes. Like, I forgave the person. I'm not mad at anybody that hurt me or anybody that walked out on me, but I still think about those things sometimes. Like, dang, that really happened to me. But if I keep remembering it, do that mean I forgive them? Like, why you
No,
keep
because
talking
that's
about it?
why
You
I
said you
told you
forgive them.
that. But I told you that they said you're supposed to forgive, but you're not supposed to forget. So you don't forget
Mhm.
life changing moments in your life. You don't forget trauma. You don't forget, I'm saying, people being there for you, stuff like that. So it's like you just, I mean, I guess you just accept it in a sense, but
Yeah,
you talking about it doesn't mean that it's bothering like that. You still just need clarity. And sometimes you're not going to get that clarity, and that's what I have to realize. Sometimes you can be wanting it and you want clarity so bad that it'll eat you up. But sometimes you're not gonna get it because even say for instance somebody did explain to you why I did this to you, is that gonna be good enough for you? Because it wouldn't be good enough
exactly.
for me. It's not gonna be good enough for
Yeah,
you. So if you know that it's not gonna be good enough for you, why take yourself back down that road? Now to think about it, of course you don't think about it. People think about stuff all the time, but letting it take control over you is the thing. That's what you don't want. It to take control over you.
how did being taken out of your normal environment plan? How does being taken away from your normal environment of home, being exposed to a lot of different things, how did that plant a seed in you to want to study psychology, the human nature?
So I guess I would say that at first I was scared. I was really scared to be taken out of what was normal. Taken. I was real scared to be taken out of my norm. But I realized that okay, I realized that just because I have had to go through certain things does not necessarily mean that's who I am. So like for instance, me moving away from Indiana for me was the best thing for me because I wanted a different life for my children. I wanted a different life for me as far as like wanting to be all that I could be without having so much memories. Like I feel like haunt me in a sense. Um, but with that being said, I wasn't like I was scared, but like I wasn't as scared because when I went to foster care, that was me out of my element, not knowing what I would be from foster care to this foster home to this foster home to this foster home for me. And
And
then it
I
was
asked
just
how many foster homes you been in.
three, three foster homes, one group home. Now until I got to that third foster home that I actually feel like me being taken
You was
away
safe.
was safe for me. Like I feel like I probably got the best sleep. I probably had a chance to be a kid, but at that point, everything that was on, I was so past playing with Barbie dolls. I was so past that. I'm trying to figure out when I could go to work, when I could start saving money for me. You know, like this is not my forever. So when I get out of here, I gotta have something to fall back on. If I don't, what am I doing? So I still went to school. I never got in trouble for not going to school. I never got in trouble for, like of course I broke some rules because what kid don't? If you ain't never been able to do nothing, you never
Yeah.
been able to go nowhere, of course your mind's wandering. So you up for fun, you up for, what I'm saying, trying to do stuff. But I was in a position where I didn't even have to sneak out with my foster sister. I ain't have to do none of that. I could have just asked, but I was so used to somebody telling me no that it
Oh.
was hard. It was, I'm saying, it was hard to just know I could just ask, and then yeah, the answer is gonna be yeah. But also, I
So
had a
do
guard.
you? I was gonna say. So do you also miss anything about being back in the environment where you was, like your friends, your family? What like did you miss anything back
Well, when I
there,
left, I
or
missed.
you was
I
moving
mean,
forward?
I was moving forward, but then also like when I left from where I was, I missed my family, but I knew that only thing that separated me from where my family was the distance. So when I learned how to get on the highway and I drove that 5.5 hours, to go see my people, it was like, dang, but what did I really come back for? What am I missing? Going back there was so depressing. It was so toxic. It was just like, well, why did I come here? And then it went from the first time I visited to me being there for, I'm saying, 3 days to feeling like that's not long enough. Go crying when I'm about to get ready to go back home.
Like once you outgrow that, it's not like you trying to be bougie or better. It's just like this ain't comfortable for me anymore because God has stretched you to your limit. Like He's stretching you beyond your limit. So when you go back, it's just like I don't fit here. Like I don't fit here at all.
Yeah, but
Do
it's
you feel
still
like that?
something that still has me feeling when I leave, like, dang, I'm gonna miss them, or how long it's gonna be before I see them again. Because I've went extensive periods, like 6 years, 8 years, and the only communication we've had is the phone. You feel me? So, yeah, that's why I create group chats with my siblings. I create group chats with my family members because sometimes my life gets so busy, I don't have time to chat. I don't have time to, you know what I'm saying, just say, oh, I'm going to take these days off. And then if I do take the days off, it's like I'm trying to create memories with my kids. You think I want to take my kids where I'm depressed or I'm sad, or if it brings back so much trauma from my life, I don't really want that. So it's like
Right.
I stay away because of the fear of having to relive what I fought so hard to get away from. And now that my kids have decided to go back that way, it's like, okay, well I know I'm gonna have to go back that way if I want to see my baby. But like that's giving me purpose to have to go visit. But my kids drive, so they'll drive down when they come see me. So once they do stuff like that, it's like,
Yeah.
well, I really don't have to go down there unless I, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really have to go down there. But I don't want to just always use meetups for my family to be a funeral, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody got
Yeah.
sick real bad and stuff like that. So, yeah, I definitely want to normalize, doing family trips or doing something normal. But it's hard when you are surrounded by everything that's toxic or you surrounded by so much trauma that has you feeling like, do I really want this? Because I'm telling you, you can have an atmosphere where the air feels clean and you feel relaxed to the point where you
Right.
go back to something that you have been staying away from, and then it's so cloudy, so dark, and so sad. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I really feel like the foundation that you create for yourself, you know what I'm saying, or the family that you make for yourself has to be the best version of what you wanted your life to be. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
like I said, I just look at it like you're you could be your own monster that you fighting. So if you
Cage
choose to be
yourself.
that, you
You could
have
be
to
the
be
one caging yourself. You got the keys.
right. And it's like now I long for peace. I long for like just being in my room solo. As long as my kids in the house and I know they're good, I'm okay with that. My life is
Yeah.
going like I could write my life down, but I mean, I'm happy that I changed everything that I used to do that wasn't good for me. I'm happy that I removed people that weren't supposed to be around me. Like I always tell myself, like I want everybody to eat, just not with me. You feel me? Like that
Yeah.
don't mean I don't want them to win. I want my worst enemy to win. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you just have to be the best version of you. That's what I would say.
I want to ask you, how did you come into your independence? Because you so independent, like no village, no nothing where you are. How did you how did you navigate into where you are now, living in the state you in?
Well, first of all,
Did
before
you
I
see
came
more
here,
opportunities there?
actually, no, I didn't know nothing about this city when I came to this city. I have been staying here for a little over maybe 13, almost maybe about 13 years. I've been staying down here. And what I've learned from moving down here is that it's not where you move, it's what you make work for you. So when I first came
Mm,
down here, yes, I was terrified, I was scared. I had somewhere to live, you know what I'm saying? And stuff just wasn't moving fast enough for me or whatever like that. So I chose to,
yeah.
go in the shelter. Went in the shelter for 5.5 months, you feel me? Which also had me where
And you are
I
so
had
strong
to
for that.
change a lot of stuff, to want to be a better mother for my kids. So I stayed there, I
That
did
takes
that 5.5 months.
courage.
And I told myself I would never do that again because yes, it's not easy. Like I was living in the house with two other girls. They had their own babies. And then I had my three babies trying to be in the process to go get my fourth baby and bring her to where I was. And it was just like I said, it was challenging. There was a lot of stuff that I was unsure of. I didn't know if I was going to be able to be successful. And still, when I first moved here and I got scared or I was getting upset or whatever, first thing I knew, like I'm about to go home. You feel me? Like I don't have to be here. I don't have to
Yeah.
stay here. I had so many different opportunities, and like shout out to my baby, shout out to my kids, Auntie Aisha Brown, because like when I tell you that if her hands was in it and she knew how she was gonna make sure that we could be successful, she was definitely gonna make sure that she put her whole team on. And I mean, now
I
she's
know
starting
that's
her new
right.
business called Lee's Home Care. You know, if you're in Kentucky, look her up. But I
Speak,
definitely see big
speaking,
things coming from her.
I was just gonna ask you that. Speaking of that, because you also in the caregiving field and you administer medication and stuff. Do you see yourself opening up your own practice? Have you ever thought about
Actually,
that?
I love doing home health, but I'm really leaning towards the kids. I want to open up a group home, you know, like, or just get a big house and turn it into a foster home because it's such a short supply of foster parents. It's such a short supply of different places for kids to be able to go to when they're waiting to be able to be reunited with their families and stuff like that. And there's
Yeah,
not enough people that's actually out there doing it for the right reason. Since I have history
they
in
doing
that,
it for that money.
right? But since like it's nothing better than working for a job that you get benefits back from. And when I say benefits, I don't mean like healthcare vision. I mean benefits from like if you save this one person, then you've made a change. If you can make this one person that's never spoken to anyone and they open up to you, different type of it's a different type of feeling. So as long as I'm being that person for somebody, I'm all for that. But like I really leaning towards like being a CASA or something like that, dealing with juvenile kids or, you know, kids ranging from 10 to 17 and just trying to figure it out before they get ready to be on their own. Because it's hard for, you know, young teenagers nowadays. By the time they get 17, it's like their head ain't on the right way. They turn into 18, you know, it's hard out there for them because now they experiencing
It
real life.
is.
So who really get them ready for that? But I had a foster mama that got me ready for that. So it was like when I got ready to be able to say, you know, dang, I don't know if I could do this. I knew she was one call away and she was gonna
Yeah,
give it to me raw and uncut. She was not gonna say, oh sweetie, no, she was gonna let me know, like, girl, if you don't get off your ass, this is not Lord Jesus, please forgive my French, but she would be like, if you don't get off your butt and do what you're supposed to do, then ain't nothing gonna come to you. So you got to work for it. So that's what I've
exactly.
always done. I've had, you know, like I've worked for everything I got, which is more rewarding than anything. I can't sit around and say nobody just been giving me
I
stuff.
was I was about to ask you what skills came from you going out on your own, being independent, like you just said you work. Like what skill, like you grind from day up to like day up to
Yeah,
nighttime.
I use it's like you gotta be sleep deprived a little bit or whatever like that because you ain't making nothing shake if you sleep. So it's like you have to be, you know what I'm saying, dedicated and willing. And my kids was little at the time. So it's like now, since they're older and stuff like that, they more so realize that, dang, mom at work. You know what I'm saying? They more relaxed now. But when they was little, it was like, be at work, but they knew they could reap the benefits off of it. So even though I'm not at home and I'm at work most of the time and stuff like that, my kids understand that, dang, I'm gonna have to go to work, but I know mama gonna have whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? Mama gonna get
Exactly.
whatever I need. You know what I'm saying? And they know that I don't mind working 100 hours or 200 hours if that means I can see the smile on their face. So the dedication that I have for my kids is definitely the dedication that I would have for any kid that came and counted on me. And I think that that's what makes me different because it was it was hard growing up and not really getting the love that I felt like I needed or I deserved. So now it's like that I'm able to be that person, or I'm able to be that person for my siblings. I'm able to be that person for you know I'm saying a lot of people. You don't even know what time what somebody going through in life, you know, and if you can say something to them, like ask them how they doing, and then it just changed their day. So I always want to be that. Like I always want to serve a purpose. That's just why I'm with it. Like I just have to serve a purpose and have to mean something.
What would you tell your younger self, like other younger girls that's coming behind you, that's going through things? What would you tell them? How would you tell them to overcome? What advice
I
would you
would just
give them?
tell them. I would just tell them to never give up and find your person, even if finding your person means going to therapy and that therapist be your person, find someone. And there's a lot of people out there that feel like that there's not anyone out there for them to talk to. It is. it's always somebody for you to talk to. It's resources out there for you. So like really just reach out to somebody, or there's different phone numbers that you can call if you're dealing with certain stuff. But don't just hold it in. Don't just think that, oh, eventually somebody will come save me, or eventually somebody will know that I'm going through something, because sometimes the signs are there but they still overlook it. So I always encourage anyone, not even just a female, I would encourage a male or whoever's going through something in life, always find that one person that you can confide into, because if you don't have that person, sometimes you can drown in your own thoughts. So I would definitely
Holding
tell
it
that
in,
other
you're
person
going to
that's out
eventually
there,
explode.
yeah. And sometimes it causes so much like on you. So I would definitely um tell them that just don't ever give up, because just because you dealt, I'm saying, a certain deck of cards doesn't mean that that has to be your final set. Cards get damaged. I'm saying?
What
You
they
throw them
say?
out, you
What's
buy a
that?
whole new deck.
Exactly. What's that saying now? They be like, clear my set, clear
Hmm.
your set, huh?
That's
Baby,
what you gotta do.
that's because I was dealt these deck of cards. I ain't done yet. Clear my set, baby.
Exactly. That's what you do.
Okay, so before we wrap up, to end every episode with a segment called What is Revealed? So, Brashonda, what is something God has revealed to you and given you wisdom? How are you carrying it out?
I think what God has revealed to me how strong I am, actually. Because before I used to be like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get through this. Oh, I don't know if I can overcome this with health, like, health problems and all this stuff like that. At my age, I just sometimes I was second guessing. But now I know, because I've had so many obstacles that come my way, and I have overcome. And shout out to my support system, because my support system down here is A1 for sure. Love my family. Um, but uh yeah, I just know that I'm stronger than anything that could come. I have faith that no matter what obstacles come, like, I can handle this. Like, I got it.
Okay. So, for everyone else that's listening, I want you guys to think about that same question. What is something God has revealed to you and given you wisdom about? How are you moving about it? I want you guys to sit down, think about it, journal it, pray on it, and baby, share it down in the comments if you're not afraid of sharing your testimony of what God has revealed to you. You guys, I want you to turn on your post notifications so you know every time I drop a video. Videos drop every Wednesday and Saturday. I want to thank you guys for listening to this video. And if you're listening to the audio instead of watching, I'm still glad you're here. And I can't wait to see you the next episode. Thank you for joining me, Brashonda.